अक्षराक्षरसमाम्नायम् अधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयं। नत्वा सरस्वतीं देवीं शुद्धां गुण्यां करोम्यहं पाणिनीयप्रवेशाय लघुसिद्धान्तकौमुदीम्। लघुसिद्धान्तकौमुद्याः मङ्गलाचरणस्य अध्ययनम् इदानीं प्रचलत् अस्ति। तत्र पूर्वस्मिन् वर्गे मङ्गलाचरणस्य अन्वयः अस्माभिः दृष्टः। तत्र द्वाभ्यां प्रकाराभ्याम् अन्वयनिर्माणं सम्भवति इति वर्गे दृष्टम्। शुद्धां गुण्यां देवीं सरस्वतीं नत्वा इति प्रकारेण शुद्धां गुण्याम् इति विशेषणं सरस्वत्याः कृते, नो चेत् देवीं सरस्वतीं नत्वा शुद्धां गुण्यां लघुसिद्धान्तकौमुदीम् इति विशेषणद्वयं लघुसिद्धान्तकौमुद्याः कृते अग्रे पाणिनीयप्रवेशाय अहं करोमि इति शेषः। तदनन्तरं प्रत्येकं पदस्य सामान्यः परिचयः अस्माभिः प्राप्तः। तत्र प्रत्येकं पदम् अधिकृत्य सुबन्तमस्ति उत तिङन्तमस्ति, सुबन्तमस्ति चेत् किं प्रातिपदिकमस्ति, केन सूत्रेण, विभक्तिः कः का, वचनं किं, तिङन्तमस्ति चेत् मूलः धातुः, लकारः, गणः, पुरुषः, वचनम् इत्यस्य सर्वस्य चिन्तनं कृतम्। तदनन्तरं मङ्गलाचरणस्य प्रथमः शब्दः नत्वा इति अस्माभिः स्वीकृतः। तस्मिन् विषये विस्तरेण ऊहः चिन्तनं कृतं। तत्र नत्वा इति शब्दस्य शास्त्ररूपेण परिचयः प्राप्तः। णम प्रभत्वे शब्दे इति भौवादिकस्य समानकर्तृकयोः पूर्वकाले इति त्विरूपम् इति। तदनन्तरं धात्वर्थस्य विषये सामान्यमध्ययनं कृतं। फलव्यापारयोर्धातुः इति वाक्यं दृष्ट्वा धातुना फलस्य निर्देशः भवति, व्यापारस्य निर्देशः भवति इति दृष्टम्। क्रियासिद्ध्यर्थम् आवश्यकानां सोपानानां समूहः व्यापारः इति नाम्ना ज्ञायते इति दृष्ट्वा पच धातोः व्यापारः, गम धातोः व्यापारः उदाहरणस्वरूपेण दृष्टः। क्रियया यस्य सिद्धिः भवति तत्फलम् इति रूपेण फलशब्दस्य व्याख्या अस्माभिः दृष्टा। भिन्नानां क्रियाणां फलं किं स्यात् इति कैश्चन उदाहरणैः चिन्तनं कृतम्। अन्ते व्यापारस्य निर्देशः आदिशब्देन भवति, नो चेत् अनुकूलशब्देन भवति इति प्रकारद्वयं दृष्ट्वा तदनन्तरम् अन्ते we got a very fundamental question: why are we studying all this? This question should be asked for everything in life. Why are we doing this? But so we saw the Sudha Tika. Tatra Sudha Tikayam शाब्दबोधः कथम् अस्ति इति चेत् अञ्जलिशिरस्संयोगादिव्यापारेण तोषयित्वा अनेन प्रकारेण नत्वा इति शब्दस्य शाब्दबोधः अस्ति। उत्पत्त्यनुकूलः व्यापारः अनेन प्रकारेण क्रूधातोः शाब्दबोधः अस्ति इति सर्वं पूर्वस्मिन् वर्गे अस्माभिः दृष्टम्। अद्यतनवर्गे मङ्गलाचरणस्य अन्येषां सर्वेषां शब्दानां क्रमेण अध्ययनं कुर्मः। परन्तु तस्मात् पूर्वम् अत्र मङ्गलाचरणे यानि प्रातिपदिकानि विद्यन्ते तेषां सम्यक् अध्ययनार्थम् अष्टाध्याय्यां विद्यमानानां प्रत्ययानां सामान्यम् अध्ययनम् इदानीम् अपेक्षते. So the information that I'll discuss right now will not be directly needed in the Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi commentary, but bits and pieces you will require every now and then throughout the course. अतः तत्र किञ्चित् समयं स्वीकृत्य अष्टाध्याय्याः प्रत्ययानां विषये किञ्चित् जानीमः। तत्र अस्माकं जालपुटे on the right side, this you should definitely take a look if you have not. So on the right side there is this Vyakarana Lekhaha place. The 14th entry is this Pratyayadhikaraha. If you have not read this article, try to read it sometimes this week. Again, this article is pretty much loaded with information. It was written long back, so it doesn't have like links to sutras and so on, but I think you should get a basic idea from this particular write-up. What I'm going to do right now is just run you through the write-up and give the basic idea of the 7 types of pratyayas in Ashtadhyayi, which we will require in the class later on. सो तत्र अष्टाध्याय्याम् आहत्य सप्त प्रकारकाः प्रत्ययाः सन्ति. Exactly 7 types of pratyas. 4 of them are defined in chapter number 3 and remaining 3 are defined in chapter number 4 and 5 together. सो तत्र अष्टाध्याय्यां प्रत्ययाधिकारः कुत्र अस्ति? तृतीयाध्यायः, चतुर्थाध्यायः, पञ्चमाध्यायः, त्रिषु अध्यायेषु प्रत्ययाधिकारः प्रवर्तते. सो 3, 4, 5 कंप्लीट प्रत्ययाधिकार. तत्र अस्मिन् प्रत्ययाधिकारे चतुर्विधाः प्रत्ययाः धातुभ्यः विधीयन्ते. The four types of pratyas attached to the dhatus are in chapter number 3. So the chapter number 3 is all about dhatus. The chapter number 4 and 5 is all about pratipadikas. So the supratyaya and the stri pratyaya, supratyaya for example, appear all the way at the beginning of 4. So nya pratipadikaat इत्यनेन प्रातिपदिकाधिकारस्य प्रारम्भः भवति, तदनन्तरं स्वौजस् and so on. सो सनादि प्रत्ययानां विषये इदानीं वाक्यद्वयम् आहत्य 12 सनादि प्रत्ययाः सन्ति. सनादि प्रत्यय can be attached to a pratipadikam or to a dhatu. Having said that, not every sanadi pratyaya can be attached to every pratipadikam or every dhatu. Panini will never make it so simple for us. So tatra केचन सनादि प्रत्ययः प्रातिपदिकेभ्यः, केचन सनादि प्रत्ययः धातुभ्यः, केचन अन्ये सनादि प्रत्ययः उभयथा अपि प्रयोक्तुं शक्यन्ते. So there is a list of 12 sanadi pratyas. I have given a table in this document. So kevalam dhatubhya vihitah sanadi pratyayah pancha. Take a look. केवलं प्रातिपदिकेभ्यः विहितः सनादि प्रत्ययः पंच, धातुभ्यः तथा प्रातिपदिकेभ्यः विहितौ सनादि प्रत्ययौ द्वौ. So you can take a look. So the common point is सनादि प्रत्ययानां योजनेन नित्यं धातोः निर्माणं भवति. So प्रातिपदिकं plus सनादि प्रत्यय gives a dhatu, dhatu plus सनादि प्रत्यय also gives a dhatu. So that never differs. सनाद्यन्ता धातवः इति सूत्रं प्रायेण भवद्भिः अधीतं स्यात्. सनादि प्रत्ययान्त शब्दाः सर्वे धातु संज्ञकाः एव सन्ति. So that's the sutram sanadyantaha dhatavah. Dhatu plus sanadi pratyay is dhatu. Pratipadikam plus sanadi pratyay is also dhatu. So a bunch of examples have been given in the document. You can take a look at them later on. The next set of pratyayas, so these are in the sequence in which they are defined in Ashtadhyayi. So all the way in the beginning there are sanadi pratyayas. The next set of pratyayas that he defines are vikarana pratyayas. They are 21 in number. Vikarana pratyayas are of two types. Everybody knows Vikarana pratyayas. Vikarana pratyayas are of two types. You have Gana Vikarana pratyayaha and you have Lakara Vikarana pratyayaha. The Gana Vikarana pratyayaha are used for four important Sarvadhatuka lakaras. The Lat lakara, the Lang lakara, Vidhiling lakara and Lot lakara. So for these four important types of lakaras, you use Gana Vikarana pratyas. Pratyekam ganasya dhatoho bhinnaha pratyayah bhavati. The Lakara Vikarana pratyas, on the other hand, are fixed for a lakara. So Rut lakaram svikurmashe tatra nityam sya iti eva bhavati. Whatever gana the dhatu belongs, it will be patishati, dasyati, lekhishati, and so on, karishati. So whichever gana the dhatu belongs, the pratyaya is fixed. Such a pratyaya which does not differ from dhatu to dhatu is called a lakara vikarana pratyaya. So tatra pratyayanam bhedadvayam atra likhitam asti lakara vikarana pratyayaha and gana vikarana pratyayaha. Gana vikarana pratyaya differ from dhatu to dhatu. Lakara vikarana pratyaya are constant for a given lakara. So tatra kasmin lakare. So in a given lakara, it will either be a lakara vikarana pratyaya or it will be a gana vikarana pratyaya, or sometimes you don't get anything. So then that description comes over here. Out of 21, dasha lakara vikarana pratyayaha and ekadasha gana vikarana pratyayaha. So again, in the order, he first defines all the lakara vikarana pratyaya, then he defines all the gana vikarana pratyaya. So go through this list. Some of these might sound very familiar, shan, shap, shnu. Some of these will be very unfamiliar, like chung or chin or shanach. So this is a different shanach than the krudanta prakaranam. This is a gana vikarana pratyaya called shanach, is there in the second column. So some of these will be, familiar to you. Some of these will be not familiar. Examples of each of them are also given in this document. So the third type of pratyas in the Ashtadhyayi order are Krut Pratyayas. So as soon as those Vikarna Pratyayas end, the Krut Pratyayas will start. So these Krut Pratyayas, they will be attached only to a Dhatu. Etesham yojanena pratipadikasya nirmanam bhavati. So out of the 7 types of Pratyayas, this is the only Pratyaya that will take a Dhatu and convert it to a Pratipadikam. None of the remaining 6 types of Pratyayas can do this. So in Krut Pratyayas, there are like multiple sections are there. A lot of discussion has been done in the particular article over here. We'll come back to this point when we discuss a few words in today's class. तत्र चतुर्थः भेदः अस्ति ting pratyaya. So when the krut pratyaya ends towards the end of chapter number 3, ting pratyayas have been discussed. Exactly 18 ting pratyayas, tiptasji and so on. सर्वैः प्रायेण ज्ञायन्ते तत्र एते 18 तिङ् प्रत्ययाः सर्वेषां लकाराणां मूलरूपेण स्थापिताः सन्ति तदनन्तरं लस्य इत्यस्मिन् अधिकारे तेषां परिवर्तनं भवति. So there are 18 of them, 9 for the parasmai pada, 9 for the atmane pada, and so on. The classification is given in the table over here. So this completes the discussion of pratyayas in the chapter number 3. These are all pratyayas associated with the dhatus. Then we enter chapter number 4, Nyap Pratipadikat. Tatra Pratipadikebhyah Vihitaha Pratyayaha Paठ्यन्ते. Tatra Adau Svaujas Samauchar Ityanena Ekavimshatihi Supratyayaha. I do not need to say anything more. You probably know much more about these than what I do. The next section of pratyayas is stri pratyayas. So the sup pratyayas are just in a single line, swaujas and so on. The next sutram is striyam. It starts with the stri pratyayas. Exactly 10 stri pratyayas are present in Ashtadhyayi. People usually confuse on these numbers because some of these are extremely prominent and some are only for specific words. So out of these 10 pratyayas, 7 are extremely popular. So people usually, approximate it and say there are 7. The remaining 3 are like very peculiar usages and very peculiar situations. So there are 7 of them primarily, the 3 first rows. There are 3 of them which end in a sound called apa. So we call that as abanta pratyayaha, ta, padap, chap, 3 of them. 3 more, they start with a sound called ni. So we say nyadayaha or ni. Yes, yesham adau vidyate. So neep, nish, nin, all tongue twisters. Then there is a last 7th pratyay called ung. All the dirgha ukaranta shabdas like vadhu, chanchu, and so on are all made with ung pratyas. So tap, dap, chap are basically all the akaranta strilinga. Surya and Bala and Aja and so on. Neem, Nish, Neen are all dirgha ikaranta. Nadi, Ghati, and so on. Ung is dirgha ukaranta, vadhu. So that basically captures most of the three pratyayanta words. The Rasva Ikaranta words Mati and so on, Mati, Buddhi are not Stri Pratyanta words in Sanskrit language. They are Kridantas. We will come to that at some other point in time, but they are not like, Nadi or Mala and so on. They are not Stri Pratyanta words. There is a specific Krutsamnika Stri Pratyay sitting at the end, but that's a different discussion. They don't belong to this particular section. So you have Akaranta, you have Ikaranta, and you have Ukaranta, Dirgha Ukaranta words. And then there is a last category of 3 pratyayas, which are like very peculiar. We will not probably need any of these. Shpha iti asti, ti iti asti, shang iti asti, and so on. सो तत्र स्त्रीप्रत्ययानां विषये केचन बिन्दवः प्रायेण मुख्यरूपेण बिन्दुद्वयम् अस्माभिः ज्ञेयम्. So first is that not every word gets a gets a stri pratyaya for making a feminine counterpart. So for example, bala iti asti, tatra akarah टाप् इति प्रत्ययस्य योजनं क्रियते चेत् बाला इति शब्दः अवश्यं सिद्ध्यति. So for many words you can actually add one of these pratyas to get a corresponding feminine word. But there are so many words in Sanskrit language. For example, marut. You cannot add any pratyaya on the top of it and make a feminine form out of it. So not every word in Sanskrit language is eligible for getting a corresponding stri pratyaya or a gender change. We will talk about these at some other point in time, but this is a point that you need to remember to start with. Second is kasmat shabdat kaha stri pratyayah bhavati. So there are 10 stri pratyayas. Kasmat shabdat kaha stri pratyayah bhavati ityasya nirnayah dvabhyam prakarabhyam kriyate. If you look at a word, there are two techniques, typical techniques to decide which of these 10 stri pratyayas will come over there. The first is to look at the last letter. Very common. If the last letter is a, like bala, aj, and so on, mostly an a will come. So bala, aja, and so on. So an a will come. However, you can also look at the derivation of the word, and in the derivation of that word, whichever pratyaya is sitting, that pratyaya can also sometimes dictate the corresponding stri pratyaya. So if a pratyaya in the derivation contains a certain itsamnyaka letters, like takaraha itsamnyakaha asti, tarhi tatra neep iti stri pratyaya bhavati. Anena prakareण, there are two methods. अंतिमं वर्णं दृष्ट्वा नो चेत् तत्र शब्दस्य निर्माणे आवश्यकं प्रत्ययं दृष्ट्वा तत्र कः स्त्री प्रत्ययः तस्य निर्णयः कर्तुं शक्यते. It's enough about three pratyayas at this stage. We will move to the next category of the pratyayas, and we have tadhita pratyayas. So in the three pratyayas, I think I have given one example of each. So tap ityasya ekam udharanam, chap ityasya ekam udharanam. You can go through that particular table. Tadanantaram tadhita pratyayaha, one of the most important types of pratyayas. I mean, tadhita pratyayas are like heart of Ashtadhyayi. If you remove tadhita pratyayas, the entire Sanskrit Vyakaranam will collapse. Undoubtedly the most important and most diverse, most complex, and most beautiful of all pratyayas are tadhita pratyayas. 280 plus in number, around 280 pratyayas. तद्धित प्रत्ययैः किं भवति इति चेत् एकं प्रातिपदिकं स्वीकृत्य तस्मात् प्रातिपदिकात् भिन्नेषु अर्थेषु भिन्नानां नूतन प्रातिपदिकानां निर्माणं भवति. So what he does in Tadhitadhikara is he lists down around 140 meanings. We call them arthaha. 140 contexts he just lists down one after the other. So for example, tasya apatyam is one context. Now the sutram tasya apatyam does not mean anything. On the face of it, it will just mean his offspring. This is an artha in which different pratipadikas will get different pratyayas and new words will be generated. So Dasharatha iti shabdat तस्य अपत्यम इति अर्थस्य निर्देशार्थम इय इति प्रत्ययः क्रियते चेत् दाशरथिः इति भवति. विनता इत्यस्मात् शब्दात् तस्य अपत्यम इत्यस्मिन् अर्थे ढक इति प्रत्ययः क्रियते चेत् वैनतेय इति भवति. सो अनेन प्रकारेण भिन्नेभ्यः प्रातिपदिकेभ्यः भिन्नाः प्रत्ययाः विशिष्टेषु अर्थेषु भवन्ति. So it's like a huge complex net. On one side there are 140 arthas that have been listed, on other side there are 280 pratyayas that have been listed, and then there is a complex mix and match. So for a given pratipadikam, for a representation of a given artha, which pratyaya has to be used. So that is a reason why the crux of Ashtadhyayi, 1100 sutras out of 4000 sutras are purely for Tadhita Prakaranam. If you study Tadhita Prakaranam properly, you already know more than 25% of Ashtadhyayi. Even today, you will see in the Mangalacharanam, in most of the places, we will be discussing the Tadhita Pratyayas one after the other. At some places, we will also discuss the three Pratyayas and the Krut Pratyayas. So अनेन प्रकारेण अत्र तद्धिताधिकारस्य अपि विस्तरेण विवरणं दत्तम् अस्ति in this article. Please take a look at it whenever you have time during this week. So अनेन प्रकारेण अत्र तद् सर्वेषां प्रत्ययानां भेदस्य प्रारम्भिकस्तरीयं विवरणं समाप्यते. इदानीम् अग्रे गत्वा लघुसिद्धान्तकौमुद्याः मङ्गलाचरणे प्रत्येकं शब्दस्य व्याकरणरूपेण अर्थं पदपरिचयं वा पश्यामः। सो तत्र लघुसिद्धान्तकौमुद्याः मङ्गलाचरणं नत्वा सरस्वतीं देवीं शुद्धां गुण्यां करोम्यहं पाणिनीयप्रवेशाय लघुसिद्धान्तकौमुदीं। तत्र मङ्गलाचरणस्य प्रथमः शब्दः नत्वा इति। We spent the whole class on this word. नमप्रभत्वे शब्दे इति भौवादिकस्य समानकर्तृकयोः पूर्वकाले इति क्त्विरूपम्। सन्तोषानुकूलः अञ्जलिशिरस्संयोगादिव्यापारः. See what I did there? Combined both of the methods. सन्तोषानुकूलः अञ्जलिशिरस्संयोगादिव्यापारः हि नम् धात्वर्थः। तत्र मङ्गलाचरणस्य द्वितीयः शब्दः अस्ति सरस्वतीम्। प्रारम्भिकस्तरीयः पदपरिचयः सरस्वती इति दीर्घ ईकारान्त स्त्रीलिङ्गशब्दः, तस्य द्वितीया एकवचनं सरस्वतीम् इति भवति। विद्यायाः अधिष्ठात्री देवी सरस्वती, तस्याः वन्दनं कृत्वा ग्रन्थस्य प्रारम्भः कृतः अस्ति इति तत्र आशयः। इदानीं प्रथमः प्रश्नः, सरस्वतीम् इत्यत्र द्वितीया किमर्थं प्रयुक्ता अस्ति? Any answers?
कर्मपदमिति वा?
कस्य धातोः कर्मपदम्?
नत्वा इत्यस्य
करेक्ट
नम् धातोः।
करेक्ट नम धातोः। नम प्रभत्वे शब्दे इति भौवादिकस्य कर्मपदम्। सो नम धातोः कर्मपदम् रामः देवं नमति इत्यत्र नम धातोः देवम् इति कर्मपदम्। एवमेव सरस्वतीं प्रणमामि तत्र नत्वा सरस्वती। सो नमन क्रियायाः नम धातोः सरस्वतीम् इति कर्मपदमस्ति। सो द टेक अवे मेसेज इज दैट कर्मपदस आर नॉट ओनली फॉर तिङन्तास. When there is a dhatu, even if you have a krudanta form, the karma pada concept will still continue to hold. So tatra saraswati iti karma padamasti. Aham saraswatim namami iti tatra ashayah. Natva iti krudantasya yoge api karma padam avashyam vidyate. Idanim saraswati iti shabdasya व्याकरण रूपेण परिचयं प्राप्नुमः. So all is that is there in your commentary. We will see it and then we will take a look at the commentary. So Saraswati iti shabdasya padaparichayam prapnumaha. Saraswati. So first of all, it is a feminine word. So the way to think is that stri pratyanta shabda asti chet, first you have to remove the stri pratyaya out. सरस्वती इत्यत्र कः स्त्री प्रत्ययः पूर्वस्मिन् वर्गे अस्माभिः दृष्टमासीत् तत्र ङीप इति स्त्री प्रत्ययः अस्ति. व्हाट प्रत्यय इज देयर? ङीप इज द प्रत्यय. व्हाट इज द सूत्रम? द सूत्रम इज 4.1.6 उगितश्च. 4.1.6 ugitascha is the sutram. In 4.1.3 the stri adhikara starts. So in the beginning of that stri adhikara there is ugitascha iti sutram. According to this sutram, an ugit word will get a neep as the stri pratyaya. So let's see this word, actually very simple word. Yat ugit asti. What is ugit? Ukka plus ita. What is ukka? Ukka is the pratyahara. A I una rulukka. So ukka iti pratyaharena ukarasya ग्रहणं भवति, ऋकारस्य ग्रहणं भवति, लुकारस्य ग्रहणं भवति. तत्र लुकारं त्यजामः, उकारस्य ऋकारस्य च ग्रहणं भवति. तादृशः उक् वर्णः इत अस्ति. Means what? If a word contains a pratyaya which has ukara or rukara as an itsamyaka letter, then such a word will get a neep pratyaya for the feminine context. Remember, while discussing the stri pratyayas, I told there were two methods. One was the last letter, second was look at the pratyaya. So this is the second method we are following. Yatra pratyayaha ugit asti. Simple example, shatru pratyayah. Shatru pratyaye rukaraha itsamyakah asti. It goes away. So a shatru pratyayanta word like say pachat, if you want to create a feminine form of it, you will have to add a neep pratyaya on the top of it, and you will say pachanti. So the feminine form of the Shatru Pratyanta word becomes Dirgha Ikaranta. Gachanti, Pachanti. This sutram will give you a Dirgha Ikara there. Another example, Ktavatu iti pratyah asti. Tatra api ukarah itsamnyakah asti. So ktavatu iti pratyayah yasya ante तादृशस्य शब्दस्य स्त्रीत्वे ई इति भवति. सो पठितवत् पठितवती इति भवति. गतवत् गतवती इति भवति. All these are examples of ugitascha. If a word contains ukara as an itsamnyaka letter, you will get e in the feminine form. So atrapi saraswati ityatra e iti tyajamashchet saraswat half ta is there. Saraswat iti yaha shabdaha vidyate tatra kaschana ugit pratyayah bhavet. You do a reverse action or analysis. Tatra kaschana ugit pratyayah bhavet. So kaha ugit pratyayah tatra asti iti chet मतुप् इति तद्धितसंज्ञकः उगित् प्रत्ययः तत्र विद्यते. So there are multiple ugit pratyayas. One of them is matup, like buddhiman, shaktiman, and so on. You have seen this matupa pratyaya. So saraswat इत्यस्मिन् शब्दे मत्तुप इति प्रत्ययः तद्धितसंज्ञकः प्रत्ययः विद्यते. Now, as soon as we say tadhita pratyaya, the first question that always invariably should come to your mind is the artha. In the tadhita prakaranam, remember there are 140 arthas, 280 pratyayas, and there is a mix and match. And unless you do a proper mapping, a final word cannot be generated. So saraswat ityatra matup इति प्रत्ययः अस्ति चेत् कस्मिन् अर्थे इति तत्र प्रश्नः कर्तव्यः. Out of those 140 arthas, in which artha is the matup pratyaya added? And the answer is, in this particular sutram, the matup pratyaya is used to indicate ownership. Tad asya asti. So the sutram tadasya astyasmin iti matupa tadasyastyasmin 5294. Tadasya this one 5294. Tad asya asti asmin iti matupa. Look at this. I'll open the sutram. Tad asya asti asmin iti matupa. So asya asti. Something belongs to somebody. Now things will immediately start falling in place. Buddhihi asya asti saha buddhiman. Matup pratyay is added. Shaktihi asya asti saha shaktiman. Goman gavaha asya santi iti goman. In most of the cases, when you see mat towards the end, you can assume that it is a matup tadhita pratyaya in most cases, and the artha is tad asya asti or tad asmin asti is the meaning. In the current context, what is happening is that you have a matup pratyaya which is getting converted to vatup. There are again conversions. So ma becomes va, no other change. So saras iti shabdaha plus matup iti pratyayah. Matup iti pratyaye pakarah it samyakah, ukarah it samyakah. Both of them go away. Mat iti avashishyate. So saras is the pratipadikam. Saras means pond. Saras plus mat. Mat will become wat. I will talk about the sutram in a minute. Mat will become wat. You combine together saras wat. And then add a neep pratyay on the top of it. Saraswati. Iti siddhyati. So saras plus wat ityatra Saraha asya asti. The owner of the lake or a pond. Saraha asya asti. Just like the way Shakti asya asti saha Shaktiman, in the same way Saraha asya asti. The owner of a pond will be called Saraswan or Saraswat. And then in the feminine form, it will be Saraswati, or you can say Saraha asyaha asti. In the statement itself, if you use a feminine form, you can directly absorb that Stri Pratyaya inside. So Saraha asyaha asti iti Saraswati. So far, so good. Now the question is, Saraha means lake. So what that has to do with Saraswati? So Saraswati is the goddess of knowledge. What does the lake have to do with the knowledge? So here is what we say, there is a poetic liberty, or here is that we say that Shabdanam aneke arthaha santi. So in this context, it is a, what is a pond? It is a reservoir. So it's a reservoir of knowledge. It is the lake of knowledge. It is a stream of knowledge. So विद्यायाः स्थानं जलस्य स्थानम् इत्यस्य स्थाने विद्यायाः स्थानम् इति अर्थपरिवर्तनं क्रियते. A word has multiple meanings, so one of them can be considered as, say, vidyayaha sthanam. So saras, the dictionary won't give you that, but you have to consider that the scholars assume this meaning and they take this meaning. So on the face of it, the saras will mean pond, but you take a little bit of poetic liberty and you say it is not a pond of water, but it is a pond of knowledge. It is a reservoir of knowledge. It is a stream of knowledge, a lake of knowledge. So विद्यायाः स्थानम् इत्यत्र सरस इति शब्दः प्रयुज्यते. So now everything falls in place. If saras is vidyayaha sthanam, who owns the knowledge, or who owns the place, the abode of knowledge? It is Saraswati. So vidyayaha sthanam ityukte saraha, saraha asya asti tad saraswat, tatra stritve nip saraswati. Or you can say Saraha asyaha asti iti Saraswati. You can, as soon as you change asya to asyaha, the stri pratyay can be absorbed. You don't have to show an additional step. So with this, we can go to the PPT, the presentation, and look at the next slide, or look at the next line. Saraswati ityatra saraha vidyasthanam. This is a typical way of writing the commentaries. You write a word and you write the meaning of the word immediately next to it. This is a very common style of writing commentaries. So here, Saraha and Vidyasthanam, the two words sitting next to each other, the Vidyasthanam is the meaning of the word Saraha. So anytime a commentator wants to explain a complex word, he will not use, phrases like asya arthaha, ityukte, and so on. These dummy phrases they will never use. They will state the word, immediately next to it they will state the meaning. You have to understand it. So saraha is equal to vidyasthanam asyaha iti saraswati. This is the vigraha of the word, and then you add an extra tam. Why do you have to add tam? Because original word is in the dvitiya ekavachanam, saraswatim. You have to lead the reader till the Saraswatim. You can't just stop at Saraswati. You have to take the reader to the Dvitiya Ekavachanam. So you say Tam. So Saraha is equal to Vidyasthanam. Asyaha asti iti Saraswati. And then you discuss the Vyutpatti. Tad asya asti asmin iti matupa iti sutrena matupa. So which sutram gives matupa? Then how is matupa converted to va? So how is ma converted to va? The sutram is called samnyayam. Very beautiful sutram and simple sutram. It basically means that if you want to construct a particular name, well-known name, then ma can become va. 8.2.11 samnyayam. This is the sutram over here. संज्ञायाः विषये मतः वः इति आदेशः भवति. get in the habit of reading Kashika or Kaumudi. Okay, even if you don't understand, habit is important. So samnyayam vishaye means to indicate a samnya. What is a samnya? A well-known term, a name of a person or something is called samnya. So samnyayam vishaye matoho vaha iti adeshah bhavati. So ma becomes va sam because Saraswati is a samnya. So you say tadasya asti asmin matupa iti sutrena matupa samnyayam iti masya vaha. Samnyayam 8 to 11. Somebody is asking the number 8 to 11 samnyayam. So samnyayam iti sutrena masya vaha Ugitasya iti ngip. Ugitasya is 416. So tadasya asti asmin it is 5 to 94. Samnyayam is 8 to 11 and Ugitasya is 416. So Ugitasya iti ngip. अनेन प्रकारेण अस्य सरस्वती इति शब्दस्य अत्र सम्पूर्णरूपेण विवरणं दीयते. There is a question how neep is added when samnyayam is in 8.2. The samnyayam does not add a neep at all. Samnyayam only converts ma to va. That has nothing to do with which stri pratyay is added. So stri pratyaya is added even when ma was there. So matup was there. Still there you would have added stri pratyaya. The stri pratyaya is decided based on the ukara of matup. Whether ma remains or ma gets converted to va has nothing to do with it. The ma getting converted to va is samnyayam. It can happen after the stri pratyaya is added. That shouldn't be a problem. But ma is converted to va by samnyayam, whereas a stri pratyaya is decided due to ukara present in matupa by the sutram ugitascha. Now, the commentary need not give all these details everywhere. Sometimes it will give the details, it will not give all the details everywhere, but in the initial part, I'm going to fill all these details for you. Later on, you will have to understand this on your own. So, tatra saraswati iti dvitiyah shabdah sarah vidyasthanam asti asyaha iti saraswati tam vagdevatam. Again, he does the same thing. He writes the word and immediately he gives the meaning. Tam means whom? Vagdevatam. So, Saraha Vidyasthanamasti Asyaha iti Saraswati. This single word, it captures the Matupa Pratyaya, conversion of Matup Makarasya Vakaraha and Vagdevatam. So, Tam Vagdevatam ityarthaha. Sada Gopanji.
See, there was a question whether we can apply a sutra from the Tripadi after the Sapada Saptadhyayi Sutra has been applied. See, usually in the flowcharts we say only the Tripadi Sutra should be applied at the very end. That is just for guidance. You can apply any sutra anytime as long as Purvatra Siddham is not violated. That's all.
That is
So
an
there is nothing wrong in applying. There is nothing wrong in applying any sutra in any way you want, if the situation permits you. That's all. If it is already 8.3 has applied in the same place and that is not seen by the sutra you are now going to apply in the Sapada Sutra, obviously you cannot apply. But otherwise, no restriction. That's why I think many people take that very literally. All the Tripathi should be applied only at the last minute while the train is about to depart. Not necessarily. Yeah, thank you.
That's an extremely important point and something that a lot of beginners actually miss. Nowhere in Purvatra Siddham Panini says that you have to apply the sutras in this sequence. They teach it in this ordered manner for ease of beginner sutras. But understand this, take this point, and I have emphasized this point enough number of times in some of the advanced courses. There is no need to apply the Tripadi sutras in the same order. All that Purvatra Siddham says is that the effect of the Tripadi Sutram cannot be seen by the Sapada Saptadhyayi Sutram. So you cannot do an interdependent work on it. But for example, if at one place you are applying Tripadi and at other place you are applying Sapada Saptadhyayi, the order really does not matter. Thank you, Sada Gopanji, for raising a very important point. Okay, there is a question on the Saras word for now. Okay, so you can go to the Saras iti shabdaha. So Saras iti koshe sru iti dhatoho asun iti pratyaya bhavati. So this is, I think, unadi pratyaya, if I'm not mistaken. You should go to the unadi part. Ah, look at this. Sarvadhatubhyaha asun. You also need to search properly. Saraha iti shabdam sthapayamache sarvadhatubhyaha asun. Itnenena asun pratyah vidhyate. So that's good. I mean, even if you're not happy with saras, go back. Saras ityukte sru ityasmat asun iti pratyah bhavati. Sarati iti saraha. The one that flows. Probably somehow you have to justify the meaning. When it comes to unadi pratyas, it's all theoretical. You don't get a clear meaning out of, clear sentence. You have to add a lot of words in between, so to get the clear meaning. So sarvadhatubhyah asun iti asun pratyaya bhavati. So very nice. So you have sru plus asun, that will give saras. Then you have matup. Then you have ma becoming va, and then three pratyaya can be added, and the whole Saraswati word can be formed.
Can asun also be construed as an ogit pratyay?
So, uh, technically speaking, is there a point of making asun as an ugit pratyaya? I don't know. We probably need to find out. Or it can also be used as an ucharanartha. So there are two reasons when ukara gets added. It can be added with a particular purpose of making an itsamyaka letter. Like for example, in ktavatu, it is a specific itsamyaka letter because it has a purpose. Neep
Hmm.
needs to be added. Or sometimes if you just say as and na, it will be asna, and then maybe it is difficult to pronounce. So usually he adds ukara as an ucharanartha only for
Oh,
pronunciation.
okay.
So very common example is tumun. Tumun pratyay ukara itsamyakah nasti. Because as soon as ukara becomes insanyaka, it should give a neep stri pratyaya. But tumun pratyanta words are avyayas. Pathitum. In feminine form also it is pathitum. So there is no need to add a ukara itsamyaka letter to make the stri pratyaya possible over there. So then why is an ukara added? Ucharanarthaha ukaraha iti uchyate. So specifically in the asun, I do not know whether the ukara over there is for ucharana or is for itsamyaka.
But
Yeah.
in the question really related to if it's an unadi pratyaya, that also could count for ugit.
That is correct. That is correct. So
That
if it,
was the
even if
question.
that is correct. So even if it's, so unadi pratyas, though they are separate, they will be considered as part of Ashtadhyayi when it comes to various processes like Raswa Dirghas or applying additional pratyas on the top of it and so on. Okay. Uttamam. So मङ्गलाचरणस्य तृतीयः शब्दः देवीम् इति. तत्र देवी इति नीप् इति प्रत्ययः स्त्री प्रत्ययः. So first get rid of the स्त्री प्रत्यय. Step number 1. The sutram is 4.1.15. Dhane dvayasash dagnash matra taya thak thai kai kwarapaha. Very beautiful, very useful sutram. A lot of neep pratyanta words are generated by this sutram. I'll just tell you the meaning in 1 second. First word, tit. That's all that we need. Tit means yasmin shabde takaraha itsamyakaha asti tasmat नीप इति स्त्री प्रत्ययः भवति. So just like the previous case, we said yasmin pratyaye ukaraha itsamyakaha asti. So if a pratyaya has ukara itsamyaka, the word generated by that pratyaya will get a neep. In the same way, this sutram talks about tit. So tidadibhyah pratipadikebhyah striyam neep iti pratyayah bhavati. So essentially, when you remove the word or when you remove the pratyaya e from Devi, you get Deva with a full akar over there, not the half. Deva plus neep There is a sutram that acts and you get Devi. We'll not go in that detail right now. But Deva, a full word is there. And this is obvious, right? Deva is masculine, Devi is feminine. So that Deva word is somehow a tit word. It is somehow generated using a takara as an itsamyaka letter. So how is this word Deva generated? It all starts with, it is a krudanta. It all starts with the dhatu div. Div iti divadi ganasya prathamaha dhatuhu. The first dhatu of the fourth gana, dhatu with a huge meaning associated with it. See on the screen. Divu, Krida, Vijigisha, Vyavahara, Dyuti, Stuti, Moda, Mada, Swapna, Kanti Gatishu. So you do not need to speak all this. You can just say Divu Krida Dishu. So Krida and others. So Diva Dhatu has multiple meanings, and this Diva Dhatu gets a Krut Pratyaya called Ach. Diva plus Ach gives Deva. The verb is div, the pratyaya is ach. It is a krut samyaka pratyaya. Diva plus ach gives deva. The sutram is nandigrahi pachadibhyo lyudinyachaha. Nandigrahi. So that's what I said at the beginning of the class. So much information is going to be there in the class. It's okay if you don't understand all of it, but this you have to somehow remember at some place and time, if not this week or so. So nandigrahi pachadibhyo lyuninyachaha. Anena sutra. So this is 3.1. As soon as you see the number, you should know it is a krudanta prakaranam. So 3.1 nandigrahi pachadibhyo lyuninyachaha. The sutram is very simple. In this sutram, he gives, look at the padacheda. He gives three ganas. There is a nandyadi gana, which is a list of certain dhatus. There is a Grahyadi Gana, which is a list of certain dhatus, and there is a Pachadi Gana, which is a list of certain dhatus. So three different lists: Nandyadis, the Grahyadis, and the Pachadis. Three lists, and he says for each list, I will give you one pratyaya in the corresponding order. So Lyu, not the Lyutta that you know, that's different. Lyu, Rini, and Ach. So three lists and three pratyayas combined together in a single sutram. Nandi grahi pachadibhyaha lyu rini achaha. So in this sutram, there is a third gana called pachadi gana, which gets ach pratyaya. Pachadi Gana is a list of dhatus that start with Pacha. One of them is Diva. So Pachadi Gana will have multiple dhatus in the list. One of them is Diva. Diva, that's the fourth Gana, Diva Kridadishu. So Diva will get the Ach Pratyaya. Diva plus Ach will become Deva. Clear so far? Any questions on this? So div iti dhatuः, ach iti pratyayः, dev iti shabdah bhavati. The problem is that in this derivation there is no itsamyaka takara anywhere. So we forgot what we were talking 1 minute ago. Tatra itsamyakah takarah nasti, atah deva ityasya devi iti katham bhavet. Remember, the neep pratyaya that we added was with the power of the Tidhane Sutram, and we promised that there will be samyaka takara somewhere, and then we will add neep pratyaya and we will make it Devi. But the derivation of the Deva word that we saw is Diva plus Acha. It becomes Deva. There is a Cha, it's samyak over there. Cha is not Ta. We required a T. There is a Ch over there. So what the commentators have done is that in the Pachadi Gana, see the commentary, this is extremely important. This is the Pachadi Gana. he is listing the pachadi dhatus. So pacha, vapa, vada, chala, and so on. In this pachadigana, instead of listing the diva dhatu, he directly lists the final form and he lists it as devat. So he adds a takara over there and he lists the final form as devat. Essentially, the commentators are telling us that diva iti dhatoho ach pratyye krute devat iti shabdaha siddhyati. कथम सिद्ध्यति अस्माभिः अयं शब्दः अत्र दत्तः अस्ति अतः सिद्ध्यति. It is like a nipatana, it is like a ready-made granted word to you. So the word in the pachadigana is devat. The takara present over there guarantees that a neep can be added on the top of it. So diva plus ach gives devat. How come ta comes over there? Because the pachadigana has it. So pachadigana lists the word as devat. So you say diva plus acha is devat plus neep is devi. So ta is anyway going to go away. It is its samyak. Deva plus neep. Akara goes away. Don't need to worry about the sutram. Devi iti rupam siddhyati. Correct? Even in the Krudanta Prakaranam, give me 1 minute and then you can ask. So even in the Krudanta Prakaranam, you need to understand in which meaning is the pratyaya attached. So krut pratyayaha kartuh nirdeshartham bhavanti, bhavasya nirdeshartham bhavanti, bhinnanam apadanasya nirdeshartham, adhikaranasya nirdeshartham. So in which meaning is the krut pratyaya attached? So this krut pratyaya is attached in the meaning of a karta. So divyati sahadevaha. What is the meaning of the diva word? It is say krida, vijigisha, vyavahara, dyuti. You can pick up any of them. So the simplest one it would be dyuti, the to shine, to glow. So the one that glows is deva. The one that shines because of punyam or because of kanti and so on is deva. That's one way to justify it. So divyati prakashate iti devaha. So divyati saha devaha div iti dhatoho ach pratyayah kartrarthe ayam pratyayah bhavati. Div plus ach becomes devat. Ta has to be added over there plus neep becomes devi. Now diva dhatu has so many different meanings that you can create your own vyutpatti using a different meaning. So if you want to use the word krida, which is what your commentary gives, you can say divyati kridati. Now how can a god be related to kridati? So jivan svikritya kridati. He basically takes the jivas and plays with them by putting them in different, bodies or whatever. Or in the pralaya, he will absorb all the jivas in himself and do a dance with them or plays with them. I- Imagination is endless. You can do whatever you want. So pick up a meaning and try to do a vyutpatti for that meaning. So you can say divyati, simple meaning would be dyuti, which means to shine. That's a typical meaning that you use. But you can also use the verb kridati and you can say divyati kridati pralaye sarvan swasmin svikrutya sarvan swasmin nivesha pralaye kridati noche divyati prakashate saha devaha दिव इति धातोः नन्दिग्रहि पचादिभ्यो लुणिन्यचः इति सूत्रेण अच् प्रत्ययः देवट् इति टित् निर्देशः पचादिगणे अस्ति टित्वात् टिड्ढाणे इति सूत्रेण ङीप् प्रत्ययः finally giving devi. Clear? So let's take a look at the commentary and then I'll take the questions. So what is the commentary? Look at this. Divyati prakashayati jagat. One meaning. और दीव्यति क्रीडति प्रलये सर्वान् स्वस्यां निवेश्य इति देवी ताम. Dvitiya ekvachanam has to be justified. Tam. What is the derivation? Divu krida dishu. Krida and others. Iti. Daivadikat. Just like we say bhavadikat, we have daivadikat. Nandigrahi pachadibhyo lyuninyachaha iti kartari ach. Ach pratyayah कर्त्रर्थे विधीयते. पचादिषु इत्युक्ते पचादिगणे देवट्ट इति टकार निर्देश सामर्थ्यात्. The power by which the takara has been added, or the reason for adding a takara, is stritve tiddhane iti nipi rupam. Let's read this together once again. Divu क्रीडादिषु iti daivadikat नंदिग्रहि पचादिभ्यो लुणिन्यचः इति कर्तरी अच पचादिषु देवट इति टकार निर्देश सामर्थ्यात् स्त्रीत्वे डिढ्ढाण इति नीपी रूपम. Almost similar thing is there in your commentary. Devi iti divyati pralaye sarvan swasyam nivesha kridati. So in the pralaya, she will absorb everybody in herself and play with the jivas. So divyati pralaye sarvan swasyam nivesha kridati iti devi tam pachadishu. See how loaded the statements are. Pachadishu devat shabda patha tato nipi rupam. What is the relation with Devat and Nipi? You have to fill in the blanks. Tiddhane iti sutramasti tena itsamnyaka takarasya vishaye Nip iti stri pratyah bhavati. So there is a lot of reading between the lines going on. Okay, so pachadishnu Devat iti shabda pathat tato Nipi rupam. Questions on the word Devim? Yes, Sudhaji.
अच् प्रत्यये अनेन सूत्रेण एव विधीयते वा अथवा अन्यानि सूत्राणि अपि भवेत् वा?
So look at this. That's a good question. So go to this right menu. Go to the Krudanta Pratyayavali. First option. Select that. Select your Pratyaya Ach over here. It will show you all the sutras that will give an Ach Pratyaya. Okay, so Nandigrahi Pachadibhyo Lyuninyachaha gives an Acha Pratyaya. You can ignore what is written in the black color. That's for advanced studies. Nandigrahi Pachadibhyo Lyuninyachaha gives Acha. Harate Ranudyamanech gives an Acha. And some A Rach gives an Acha. So all these sutras will give Acha Pratyaya. So in this tool, you can select whichever Krut Pratyaya you want. So for example, Ktavatu, only one sutram is there. Or for example, Ktva. Did you know that there are so many sutras for Ktva Pratyaya? We only saw one of them that day, right? Samana Kartruka Yoho Purvakale. Remember that day we saw this. So many sutras are there. Okay, so you can use this tool to answer that question.
महोदय,
अन्यः प्रश्नः? हाँ, उच्यताम्.
किमर्थम् अच् प्रत्ययः आवश्यकः?
किमर्थम् अच् प्रत्यय?
एवमेव निपातनम् अस्ति खलु, तदेव स्वीकृत्य कर्तुं शक्यते.
वेरी नाइस. सो तत्र निपातनं कस्य निपातनम् अस्ति इति चेत् टकारः इत्संज्ञकरूपेण विधीयते तस्य निपातनम् अस्ति. अच् प्रत्ययं स्वीकृत्य अन्यानि कार्याणि भवितुम् अर्हन्ति. तेषां कृते अच् प्रत्ययः आवश्यकः. केवलं टकारस्य तत्र निपातनं क्रियते. अतः you have to combine अच् प्रत्ययः इति प्रक्रियायाः अंशः तदनन्तरं टकारस्य निपातनम् इति उभयथा कृत्वा देवट् इति शब्दः सिद्ध्यति. क्लियर?
Little unclear. Tatra Pachadi tu Devat iti dattamasti. So if it's Devat, tatra tattu Dhatu va dhatu plus pratyaya va.
That's a very good question. Very nice observation. So अत्र किं कृतमस्ति पचादिगणे तेन इत्युक्ते काशिकाकारेण. This is not Panini. This is काशिकाकार. तेन किं कृतमस्ति इति चेत् अस्माकं सौलभ्यार्थं फाइनल फॉर्म एव तत्र स्थापितः अस्ति. So even over here, even if you see, he says pacha, not pacha with a half cha, says pacha with a full cha. So it is actually he does the prakriya for us. Pacha plus ach gives pacha. Vada chala. So here in the pachadi gana, what he does is he actually does the prakriya and gives the final word purely for our ease of understanding. He will not do that in most of the other cases, but in this particular sutram for the liu, for the rini, and for acha, he will do this. Why does he do this? Exactly, this is the reason. Sometimes he wants to insert that takara. Sometimes he wants to do something else. Sometimes he wants to do some other transformation. So instead of giving vartikas or instead of giving additional statements for all these kind of transformations, he just does them for you and gives the final form. Clear?
Astu.
But this is an exception, not a norm. In most of the sutras where the ganas have been discussed, he will only give the list of dhatus.
So there is no sutram, no vartika, nothing that takes you from ach to at.
There is no at. There is ach and there is a t on the top of it. There is no at. Because as soon as you say at, you are eating out ch for no reason. And ch will be required over there. Ch will have some all its own functionalities which will not go in the details. But ch is definitely required. Plus the t is not in all the other words. So for example, pacha, vada, vapa, here you don't need a t. So you cannot really create a pratyay called touch. Touch is also nice pratyay. T can go away by chutu and ch can go away by halantyam. So, but you can't create a general pratyay called touch because other words will create a problem. So only specific cases, nadat, bhashat, garat, modat, devat, all these are some examples where t is explicitly added. Okay,
For the sake of adding this three pratyaya.
that is correct. For not just adding stri pratyay, for the sake of demonstrating that you will have to add a stri pratyay.
Astu.
Okay, okay. So one question that I have now for you over here is, why go through these efforts of adding a t as its samyaka and then asking us to add a stri pratyay? Why not add a stri pratyay directly and give the word as devi?
Exactly.
Exactly. So anybody?
Because there is a deva.
Excellent. Because you need the masculine form. If he forcefully gives a feminine form, it might indicate that there is no masculine form. For example, here, Medha. He gives a feminine form over here because he only wants us to use the feminine form. But if he wants us to use both the forms, or if he wants to say both the forms are valid forms in the language, then he will have to write a Deva and then add some marker over here which can take you to Devi. Clear? Very nice. We had somebody raised hand over here. Umaji, you wanted to discuss something? No. Umaji, you
Yeah,
want to discuss? Yes, yes, yes.
yeah, just now you answered.
Okay,
Yeah,
wonderful.
so
Okay.
that Saraswati, I understand Uditascha, the need depends on the Uditascha of the Pratyaya, Matu Pratyaya. But here it gets directly from the Devat.
So even in the Devata, there is a
They
T, right?
need,
It's not in the Pratyaya. That is correct. It's there in the word. From that you get Devi. That is
uh,
correct.
yes, directly. So it doesn't depend on the Pratyaya. Thank you.
That is correct.
Then
That is correct.
No, but you can look at it as still depending on the pratyaya, right? Because in this devat form, it is the pratipadikam plus the pratyaya. The final form is devat. The
So the
pratipadikam
question
alone
is,
doesn't
so the
have.
question is, see, this is all theoretical, but the question is T part of the Pratyaya? If T is a part of the Pratyaya, then it should be touch Pratyaya. So ta is not the
Yes.
part of the pratyaya. Ta is being separately added on devat. So it is a part of pratipadikam. So pratipadikam has ta as an itsamyaka letter. Devat is an pratipadikam with an itsamyaka letter. Very few pratipadikas have itsamyaka letters. Devat is one of them. Correct? That's different from saying pratyaya has an itsamyaka letter. So the question was correct, and the answer is that it's not the itsamyaka letter of the pratyaya.
So it's not only if the pratyaya has its sanya, it could be the pratipadikam also. Then also the stri pratyaya will come.
So very rarely. So this is just one of the few examples. So that's like one in million cases. So
Okay.
that's why I did not really mention that in the initial discussion of the three pratyas.
Okay.
Mostly it is either dependent on pratyay or it is dependent on the last letter of the pratipadikam. Here also technically it is dependent on last letter of the pratipadikam, which is ta. But that was not the intention when I spoke that time. So
Okay. Yeah.
you understood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if it is deva, it will become deva.
That is
And so
correct.
that's okay.
That is correct. That is exactly right. If you it is deva, by default it would become deva, but we want it as devi, so we say devat. Same here, nadat, nadi. How is nadi formed? Nad iti dhatuhu, ach iti pratyayah, nandigrahi pachadibhyo luninyachaha. Nad plus ach becomes nad, but if it would have just been nada, it would be nada. So he makes it nadat, and then it becomes nadi. Clear?
तत्र ल्युनिञ्यचः इति कर्तरि अच् इति दत्तमस्ति किल तत्र
Correct.
कर्तरि इत्युक्ते तत्र इम्पोर्टेन्स् किं महोदय कर्मणि इत्यपि भवितुम् अर्हति वा
Tatra kartari ach ityukte. See, this needs a little bit of explanation. Dhatuhu asti, dhatoho krut pratyah bhavati chet pratipadikasya nirmanam bhavati. तस्य प्रातिपदिकस्य धातुना सह कः सम्बन्धः? इदानीं धातुना सह कः सम्बन्धः इति पृच्छामश्चेत् तत् प्रातिपदिकं धातोः कर्ता अस्ति उत कर्म अस्ति उत करणम् अस्ति उत सम्प्रदानम् अस्ति किम् अस्ति इति वक्तव्यम्. अत्र अच् प्रत्ययेन कर्ता अस्ति इति उच्यते. यथा णवुल् प्रत्ययेन कर्ता निर्दिश्यते. सो पचति सः पाचकः. तृच् प्रत्ययेन अपि कर्ता निर्दिश्यते. सो गच्छति सः गन्ता. केचन कृत् प्रत्ययाः सन्ति यैः कर्मणः निर्देशः भवति, कर्मपदस्य निर्देशः भवति. यथा क्त इति प्रत्ययः अस्ति. पठित. So पठित will not indicate the reader. It will indicate the object which is read. So pustakam pathitam. So kta pratyay. Ramah pustakam pathati or Ramah pustakam apathat. If you want to use the kta pratyaya, you have to say Ramena pustakam pathitam. So kta pratyaya is not indicating Rama. It is indicating karma. So kta pratyaya karmarthe bhavati. There are pratyayas that are used in other situations also. So aniyar iti pratyaya asti. Kutrachit adhikarane prayujyate. Shayaniya is the name of a bed on which you will sleep. So shayyate asyam iti shayaniya shayya or shayaniya manchaha. Or kta pratyaya is sometimes also used in adhikaranam. Kridita means the land on which you are playing. So kridyate asyam iti kridita bhumihi. So different pratyayas are used in different karakas. Most of them are used in the kartari karaka, but there are examples like ta pratyaya which is used in karmani karaka. Lyut pratyaya, another example. Lyut is ana, right? Everybody knows this. Pathana, gamana. You can use the lyut pratyaya in the karana karaka. Likhyate anaya iti lekhani. So lekhani is a lyut pratyanta word which is used in the karana karaka. So all this is advanced discussion. You can ignore this completely. It was in response to a question that asked, what is the purpose of the word kartari? So kartari इत्यस्य कः अर्थः इति चेत् अत्र प्रत्ययः कर्तुः निर्देशार्थं भवति इत्युक्ते अच प्रत्ययान्तः देव इति यः शब्दः सः दिव इति क्रियायाः कर्तृरूपेण प्रयुज्यते. दीव्यति इति देवः इति अर्थः.
But for that only we have the vibhakti pratyayas which gives the karakam also, right, Mahodaya? Why should we do it with the pratyaya directly?
Vibhakti pratyayas give the karakam of that word with respect to a different action. Devaha gacchati. That deva is the karta of gacchati kriya. Like the devaya dadati. So that deva is the sampradana of the dadati kriya. The question that we are answering is, what is the relationship of the word deva with the diva dhatu? That has nothing to do with a sentence like devaya dadati or devat svikaroti or deve tishtati and so on. Clear? The question that we are asking is in the vyutpatti. From diva dhatu deva is generated. What is the relation of the word deva with the diva dhatu? So diva dhatu will have its own karta, its own karma, its own karana. Which of those karakas is deva? That has nothing to do with the way deva is used in the sentences.
Going back to Devat,
Mhm.
is there a later point of time where one understands how they from Devat comes, or Devat is just accepted as it is at all points of time?
Devat is just accepted as it is at all points of time. There is no advanced sutra or something that will give a Devat. It's just diva plus acha is equal to Devat. That's it.